Whew.
F it. F it all. Here we go.
Here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to the very first episode of Keep Calm and Don't Kick My Robots. I am very excited to show all of you what's in store, but as with all first episodes, we want to lay down some of the groundwork on what you can expect. We're here. We're going to be playing a little bit here and there, but more than anything, I really want you as a viewer to know the premise of the show, what's going on, the purpose, and everything like that. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Twiz. Hello, chat room. It's very good to see you. I will be the host of the show that airs on every Monday night at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. And this week, I have brought with me as a co-host someone who knows more about DKMR than myself or anyone else. Please help me welcome to the show the founder of DKMR, Mr. Poach. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I am good, brother, man. I'm good. I'm ready to kick this off, dude. I'm ready to rock this out, kick this off. You ready?
I am psyched. This is going to be a great show. I know this is an intro show, so it's not going to be as crazy as potential future shows, but this is going to be awesome. We've got a lot of great stuff we're going to be talking about regarding what DKMR is, who we are, where we came from, where we're going, and a little bit of a sneak preview of what people should expect to see when Sexy Stutter from DKMR will be co-anchoring the show with you.
Awesome. Well, you know what, dude? There's absolutely no time like the present, man. So why don't we kick this off, and why don't we talk a little bit about the background of DKMR? So, like, as I said before, like, you're the creator of Don't Kick My Robot. So how did you come up with that name, and what's your daily jobs, and what do you do as the head honcho?
Sure. Really odd situation. I mean, I was trying to think of a name. I was talking with my wife, what names. She was shooting me messages, of different names. She was excited about it too. I'm in the car and I'm getting text messages at 7 o'clock in the morning with different names, and there were some good ones that we were thinking of, because I really like to make sure that the name means something or is special or people enjoy. And I'm just driving, and somebody was walking their dog, and I was thinking in my head randomly, like, oh, don't kick my dog, man. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, but you know what? Robots are pretty cool. And I was like, don't kick my robot. And there was this song on the radio. I don't even know what song it was. I was listening to this weird radio station, and it was just it just came together, and I was like, wait, this is it. Don't kick my robot, because nobody wants a robot kicked.
Nobody.
Right?
I have several, and I don't want one of them kicked. Not one.
Exactly.
So, no, it makes total sense, man.
Yeah, I actually have the, this is our shirt that we're actually going to be all representing. This is the military green version.
I like it.
It'll be coming in gray mainly. I'll show you what this looks like. This is right here. Don't kick my robot. And this is the t-shirt that we'll be wearing at any live events that we go to, and streamers should be wearing it soon, which is really great. We wanted to get the prototype first to make sure it was what we were looking for, and it came out
brilliant.
Phenomenal. It's a really great t-shirt.
Brilliant. Good game, man. Very cool. So, okay, so let's talk about DKMR. Like, who are you guys? What kind of team do you have, and what all has your team accomplished in tournaments and stuff like that? Because I know you're very involved with that stuff.
Sure. Yeah. No, I am. What we've done, who we are. So, going to the the team, the idea behind this team, and I'll answer some of the other questions also. The idea behind this team was to create a team where you'd have top level, the best players out there streaming at all times of the day. So people could come in to the website, they'd see a list of all the streamers that were online and the days and the times that they're online, and be able to, they cater their life around our streaming. So that they said, if they were thinking, all right, well, Mondays were really good for me to watch some streaming. Who's available on Mondays? Okay, Poach is, Millard is, D2 is. All right, what times can I watch people Monday? And we want to try to have premium content all the time. Okay. We're also broken into a couple other classes. We also have deck testers. So we have individuals who are working all the time on decks that we're creating in our private section to make them better and to play test them. And then we also have a shoutcasting division, which is really something I haven't been able to push out as much. The shoutcasting division is actually led by the head of my shoutcasting, which is Fort Court Jester, who's a very well-known shoutcaster. And what we think is we can provide some more premium content by not just showing you what's going on inside a game and having you narrate your own game, but having somebody else from a third-person view take a look in and say, this is why they're doing this. And we found that it's very helpful and people enjoy it. So to talk a little about who's on my team, I can't highlight the entire team. You can go to the website to see the whole team, but what's important to note are the streamers. So, myself, I haven't been able to play as much in the last couple months because I've been focusing so much on this team. But what we do have is we have Alchemist, who's currently the king of the hill on iHearthU.
Awesome.
He's a two-time champion on that, beating some great players. We also have Brad, one of our streamers, who has won several tournaments. We have Nick Spags, who's a well-known Magic player who came to Hearthstone and really lit it up when he played in the Hearthstone Open and with a token Druid deck, which basically became a virus, and everybody was playing that Druid deck for a bit.
Sure.
We have Sexy Stutter, who has won some tournaments and is working. He's going to be working with you.
Yep.
We have First, who's hit legendary every season that it's been out and been in the top 50. We have Soda recently joining us. This is a poker player who just came, who got into Hearthstone, and he's got a great attitude, really pleasant to listen to when he streams. We have D2 from Japan, hailing all the way from Japan. So for those of you that like to stay up real late, D2 will be available, and he's came in second on the Stone Throne Cup, and he's won a couple tournaments. And lastly, we have Varanus and Millard, and Varanus is a Magic the Gathering player. Most of these players are Magic the Gathering players and played in a lot of high-level tournaments. Varanus is another one of those people, and he has a really great stream that he does on Sundays. It's very helpful for new players to understand why he's making his moves. And Millard, a school teacher turned Hearthstone player, he has been a little bit out lately just due to some personal issues, but he also has won several tournaments. So we really kind of showed up on the scene quite a while ago. We were one of the first teams in closed beta, but what we started to focus on was, quality gameplay and also quality content. And we produce a couple different articles, the Meta Report, which is out on iHearthU. We have the Deck of the Week, which is on BlizzPro's website. Mm-hmm. And then we have an article that Varanus is writing that's on Hearthstone players, but that is also going to be moving to BlizzPro. That's some news for everybody. Nice. Varanus writes some really cool articles, and that'll be popping on BlizzPro. And we'll be putting another person, Nick Spags, is going to write an article about the Miracle Rogue on Hearthstone players. So a lot of stuff happening.
Looking forward to that, dude. Looking forward to that, man. Yeah, I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to kind of get a hold of a really good rogue deck because I really like the play style of the rogue, and sure. Which actually, you know what, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so because you're going to cover this here, I am obviously a frequenter of your website, which is www.don'tkickmyrobot.com. I have to say there's a ton of great information there. What I'd like you to do is tell everyone what's on the website and what people can sure. expect once they find there, and what they find when they go to don'tkickmyrobot.com.
Yeah, no, great. Thanks for bringing that up. There's some great stuff that you're going to find there. First of all, on the main page, you're going to see all the articles that are current, the last 6 articles. You'll be able to click on the image of the article you want to read, and then if you follow the next link, you'll actually go to the website where it's hosted. Mm-hmm. We've found that really helps out both our community and their community. You'll also see all the streamers on the right-hand side, and if they're online, refresh your page, and if there's a green light that goes on, that means they're online. At the top of the page, you'll have a team list. If you go to our team list, I've written some pretty funny things about all the members. It's my incentive to get them to give me their real bios. So I think you might enjoy reading some of those. For those of them that have provided pictures, you'll be able to see what they look like. And then we have our forums, of course, which we encourage everybody to pop on there whenever they want, looking for help, post your decks, talk to us about ideas that you're thinking of. And if we find something that works really well that we haven't tried, we'll be glad to try it on the ladder and let you know how it goes. But my main focus for this team was to also be community oriented, and to not just have premier players that are not interested in working with the public unless for large sums of money, or just not really responding to them, but to actually be actively engaging them.
Sure.
And then you'll be able to contact us directly if you want to click on the contact button and let me know or let us know anything specifically. And most importantly, the newest feature to our website is the premium membership. And premium membership is a monthly service that we provide to anybody that's interested, broken down between, it's $30 a month, or you can buy in bulk. 3 months brings it to $75 for 3 months, or it's $120 for 6 months. And basically what this gives you is access that nobody else has. You're on your own forum board that only the premium members have access to, where you can put together decks that you are working on with your coach. You'll have 2 coaching sessions with your coach for 30 minutes, and then either your coach will play that deck with you or watch you play, or you'll watch them, and there'll be a newsletter as well that comes out once a month with what's happening in the meta and how we're adapting to it. So basically you're getting everything that everybody else is getting, but that much faster. So we're really excited about it, because a lot of people will charge about $30 to $40, even I've seen as high as $50 for 1 hour of coaching.
Wow.
So people are getting quite a bit here with us.
Wow. And you know what? I mean, okay, like $1 a day, even if you're a new or intermediate or advanced player, $1 a day,
yeah,
for a game that you didn't pay for to begin with. And exactly. I mean, that sounds fair, to get coaching from guys who have been there, done that, and crack the code. It's
invaluable.
Awesome.
It really is. We've had we had one guy, shout out to Gumby from Australia. He really lit up the forums hard, asking questions, and I want to thank Alchemist and the team for embracing him like they did, because he was just, I was even answering questions at random times of the day too for him, and he even was able to, and I'm impressed, because not even some of the members on this team can do this, is get Alchemist to spend several hours with him, walking him through why his deck was working or not working and how to fix it, and playing against him, which was unbelievable. So my hat's off to Alchemist on that. That's the type of players that we have on this team, willing to spend that time with the community. But we realized at that point, you know what, we need to create something that's more beneficial for them. Gumby being able to reach Alchemist whenever at random times isn't going to be beneficial for Gumby nor Alchemist. So by having a premium membership, he has access to the whole team. And then if he wants a specific coach, he can say, I want Alchemist to work with me.
Oh, very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah, and you know what? You'll be able to see from the forums, like, I've been on the forums for maybe 3 weeks, maybe coming up on a month or so, and you really get a feel for the personalities of people, and I have to say that it has been a pretty positive experience. But one of the things I definitely wanted to touch on is, for those of you that are still you're surfing around trying to find the latest deck, the latest ideas, what's working, what's not working, and stuff like that. The thing that I found in the forums of don'tkickmyrobot.com was deck lists, people saying this worked and this didn't work, people posting their deck list and getting good feedback on it. But I also saw there was a section that was budget decks. So for all of you who are out there who don't have all the legendaries and everything like that, these guys have put together decks that are budget decks, that are not based around legendaries and having to have the best cards and stuff like that, and they are highly ranked and very effective decks. And that's the one thing that I found I've not found, or at least easily, in any other in many other places.
Yeah, and we really are trying to update those whenever a new patch comes out, and we need to make some changes. So we are looking to constantly be upgrading those decks. And it is hard to find those. And a lot of people say, look, I don't want to spend the money, or I don't have these legendaries, or they're looking for substitutions, and the budget decks are going to get you there. We've had members play test them and got down to rank 10 easily with them. Part of it does come to skill, but the other part of it, of course, is just the fact that these decks just work. Okay. So they are available to the public anytime.
Awesome. Well, one of the things that we're trying to get the best feel for, the people who are watching this and stuff, is I am the guinea pig. Okay, I am the Hearthstone. I'm an average player. I'm not great, but I'm not the worst out there. But what you guys are going to see in this show is a lot of coaching, where either like Poach. We're getting ready. We're going to be playing a few games here real quick, where we're going to build a deck and everything like that. I didn't lie to you in the intro. You see, we're going to have deck building and coaching and everything. But you'll be able to see how these guys can coach and how these guys can help. And if it's a service that you're interested in, you can hit those guys up for that, and they're more than willing to help. Or, just pick their brain or whatever. But, I think Poach and I, when we talked about this before, that was one of the biggest things we wanted to get across was effective coaching, because sometimes you get the cards and sometimes you don't. But a lot of it is the decisions that you make as a player. What is the best decision for this situation? And that's where the coaching really comes in handy.
Yeah, and just want to answer, Davey wrote a question here saying, is there a part on the forum where you could possibly submit a deck? And there is. There is a section where you can submit your deck on our forums, and we give feedback. We've been doing that for a long time. We see some really crazy decks out there, actually. And anytime that you post a deck, on our website, you'll have somebody responding back with what we would do, why we think you might want to make some changes on said deck. So definitely, we encourage you to do it. Yeah,
and that's the one thing is a lot of people are like scared. I mean, like people, they want to know answers, but they're really afraid to throw it out there and stuff. And I mean, I have yet to see a deck put on those forums where people were like, dude, this is garbage. Who are you? Go, just go away. I mean, that doesn't happen in these forums. These guys are so approachable and so professional in what they do and how they handle the people that visit their website and visit their forums and seek help. Don't ever be afraid to post a deck list or ask the questions. So that's just from personal experience. But you know what? If you do go on the website and you see this guy, he posts under the name Twiz. He says some stupid stuff quite often. I've
heard of him.
So I know. You know what?
We keep banning him, but he keeps coming back.
I know. He's the turd that won't flush, dude. I totally get it, man. But what can you do? So, well, everyone, we are here to play some cards and have some fun, and I think that it's about time that we do that. Are you good with that, Poach?
I'm good with that.
All right, man. Let's make this happen. So the biggest thing, guys, look at me when I say this to you. The biggest thing is to remember that sometimes you get the cards you need, and sometimes you don't. Okay?
It's true. One thing, though, that we like to do in our decks is maximize that chance to get the cards that you do need. So it might not be the perfect situation, but we can figure out a way to play around it, which is why our decks are pretty successful. Yeah. So hopefully, and it just jinx us, but there's going to be matchups where a deck just doesn't really work, and we're going to be working on a DKMR DKMR tempo / aggro Warlock, and if Rogue is going to not be fun to play against, it really isn't, and the win rate against a Rogue deck, which counters it fairly nicely, is usually rather low, but you just have to think of the overall experience you're having with the deck. So give a deck 10 to 15 games before you really judge it.
Sure.
And remember, we're net decking. And the thing about net decking is you didn't think of this idea. You didn't come up with the card combination of the deck. We did. So it's going to take you a while to understand why we put what we put inside the deck. Yep. And you might never know what it is. You might have to ask us, why did you put that in the deck? And that's an important thing that some people forget about, with net decking. And I want to start with a quote before we build this deck, if that's okay with you, Twiz.
Totally, brother.
All right, this is a quote from Sun Tzu, from The Art of War. And I felt like this quote really fits Hearthstone. So it goes like this. It's said that if you know your enemies and know yourself, you will not be imperiled in 100 battles. If you do not know your enemies, but do know yourself, you will win one and lose one. If you do not know your enemies nor yourself, you you will be imperiled in every single battle. So, Twiz, what that says to me is, if you understand the decks you're playing against, and you understand your deck,
Sure.
the chances of winning are much higher than if you only understand your deck, and you don't understand your enemy's deck, which you'll win some, lose some. And if you don't really know why you're playing your deck, and you don't know why they're playing their deck, you're not going to win many at all.
Yeah. That's good. That it makes complete and total sense, man. You know, it's like know your friends, but know your enemies better. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that was good.
Exactly.
That was good.
So
that was
let's
really
go to
deep.
deck.
That was really deep for episode 1. Usually,
Deep.
that kind of stuff doesn't happen until you're like in episode 23, 24, and then you really get deep.
I want to set the stage. I want to set it like right now. I want to take that bar.
The bars.
Put it up there.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
It's
right.
a bear.
So good game, dude. Good game. All right, man. Well, if I remember correctly, you told me all about a Warlock deck.
Yes.
That we are
very
going to be
proud of this deck. It's really interesting. Something we were workshopping, and then Alchemist. Let's talk about Alchemist again. We haven't talked about him enough. His head's not that big, so we got to talk about him more to just fill it with air. He actually took this deck and he ran it on the ladder at the end of the season, and his goal was get from legendary to from rank 25 to legendary in less than 10 hours, and he did it with this deck.
Wow.
So this deck is very strong. We have been writing on the meta report right now how the king of the meta right now is Warlock, and we're going to show you why.
Okay.
So here we go. We're going to start off with 2 Soulfires.
Okay.
Gold if preferred. Alchemist, because he did run this, and I'm going to mention his name again, prefers to run only gold decks. So if we can run an only gold deck, I know we'll make him happy.
Yeah. Well, wait till he meets this poor bastard.
Oh, God.
So.
I just hope he doesn't unsubscribe.
Oh gosh. Now you see, Soulfire, it is very effective because of the 4 damage, and you can go past the taunt and everything like that. But I am always so scared of getting rid of the card that I need.
Losing the card you want that you didn't want to lose, and that's why you'll shake your fist at Soulfire. Why did I play you? I just lost my Leroy Jenkins.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Well. Let's talk about that for a second. So Soulfire is a very strong card. It's 0 mana, and it does 4 damage. Mm-hmm. Basically removing most things that you're going to see. Let's forget about Innervate here for a second, but most of the cards you're going to see in the first couple of rounds going back and forth against your opponent. But more importantly, it's also 4 damage to the face, which can be lethal in many cases. You sometimes just have to weigh out what you're trying to accomplish on the board. Yeah. If you're looking to control the board and you're going against a very fast deck that's going to build up faster than your deck, there's going to be times where you're just going to have to just bite the bullet and you're going to lose something that you want. But the nice thing about this deck, like I mentioned, is that something else will always come back around. So
sure.
We'll see this probably a couple of times when we're playing. Okay. So we'll take the next card now. We're going to take 2 Mortal Coils.
Okay.
Okay, so Mortal Coil is a great card. Deal 1 damage to a minion. If it kills it, draw a card. So most of the time, we want to see that card draw a card for us.
Sure.
In this deck. So there'll be times when we're taking something down from 4 life to 3 life and then using this just to draw the card.
Sure.
There'll be other times when we just need the 1 damage and we don't care if we don't get the card draw, but it really is phenomenal for card draw. And in some cases in this deck, because it plays with such small creatures, you might even end up Mortal Coiling your own creature in desperation to get card draw.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So the next card we're going to go for is Power Overwhelming. We're going to grab one of those.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about Power Overwhelming. Give 4/4 to a minion, right, friendly, and then it dies a horrible death. So this is really mostly used as a finisher.
Sure.
Okay. It sometimes has its use to remove a taunt on the board. So if you're going against the Druid of the Claw, that's a 4/6 in taunt. You might throw this on one of your 2 power creatures just to clear that taunt off the board. But ideally, in a perfect world, you would throw this on maybe a Leroy Jenkins and do 10 damage to his face. But we'll talk about that more also when we get into the game.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to grab just the Warlock card so that we're not bouncing all over the place. Let's grab 2 Flame Imps.
Okay.
All right. Now the Flame Imp does 3 damage to your hero, and that sucks. I mean, who wants to take 3 damage?
Right.
But it's a 3/2 for 1.
Yeah.
Is 3/2 for 1 mana.
Right. Right
It's
off the bat.
so strong, and if you can pull it off on turn 1, and you're going first, and your opponent does not have any answer for that, you took 3 damage, but guess what? They're taking 3 damage next turn, and maybe more.
Right. No, I buy off on that.
All right. Next is Voidwalker.
Okay, 1 or 2 of them.
Okay. We're going to grab 2 of those. And the thing about the Voidwalker is mainly its taunt effect.
Sure.
Really, your minions are going to hide behind that Voidwalker. The idea is to be able to have him soak up that damage first, or force them to have to go hit the Voidwalker prior to attacking your 3/2 Flame Imp, for example.
Okay.
All right.
Makes sense.
Now we're going to go to Doomguard. We're going to take 1 Doomguard. That's a 5 mana card.
There we go. 1 Doomguard. Got him.
1 Doomguard. Now this is a little bit different than the original DKMR Warlock deck.
Yeah, because I was going to say, that's what I was playing originally.
Yeah,
And,
we talked about it and gone back and forth, and some of us want the Doomguard, some of us don't want the Doomguard. I like the Doomguard. We were running a Blood Mage Thalanos in place of this, and the extra 1 magic damage can be nice, and the card draw can be nice, but the card draw engine really is from your hero ability, and especially in this current meta that we're in right now, this 5 damage really fast is brutal.
Okay.
So unfortunately, as you read the card, you discard 2 random cards. Ideally, you want nothing in your hand when you use this card.
Right.
Worst case scenario is you play this card when you have a Soulfire in your hand and you just lost your Soulfire.
Right.
So, ouch.
Right.
But you know what? Them's are the breaks.
I was going to say, dude, you just took the man. Them's the breaks, homie.
That's right.
That's how
So
she
let's
rolls.
go into the neutral cards now.
All right, bro.
We're going to start off with the Abusive Sergeant. I'm going to grab 2 of those.
Alrighty.
So the Abusive Sergeant is a 2/1. It gives a minion +2 attack this turn for 1 mana.
Right.
So again, this deck is all about just being able to just pump up cards fast. So you drop this guy down maybe with Leroy and Power Overwhelming, and now you're doing 12 damage
That's
for
insane.
for 6 mana. Does double the
6, yeah.
damage. It's a great move
Yep.
on him and other cards. It doesn't have to only be on Leroy, but boy does it feel nice when
it
you
works out,
drop
right?
it down on turn 6 if you have lethal at that point. All right, so let's move to the Argent Squire.
Okay.
Right next door. We're gonna grab 2 of those.
All right.
So Argent Squire is really cool because of that Divine Shield. So having the shield on the card basically allows it to have an extra turn. So you're kind of getting a 2/2 for 1.
Sure.
And boosting an Argent Squire, I love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It really giving them the +2 damage from the Abusive Sergeant, or boosting them from other cards that we're going to be talking about, is really makes this card stand out and doesn't usually die after turn 1. It's not going to die. Sometimes you'll see it die after turn 2, but it's a great card and it does soak up some time.
Sure.
So next we're going to grab the Young Priestess.
Okay.
2 of those. Now this card is such a great card because at the end of the turn it gives another random friendly minion +1. So I want to paint a picture for you. I'm going to use acrylic paint because that's the kind of paint I like.
That's fine. I'm probably going to eat most of it anyway, so it's
All
fine.
right, well, that's fair. I mean, it is poisonous, so just be careful. The Young Priestess giving 1 health at the end of the turn, a great turn 1 move could be, if you go second, Flame Imp, Coin, Young Priestess. It says at the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1. So, Twiz, where do you think that +1 health is going?
It's going to the imp.
Exactly. So now you have a 3/3 imp on the table.
Yep.
Turn 1.
Yep. And actually,
That's hard to move.
what I always did was I always tried to, when I played the change, well, before this change came out, I was always trying to mulligan for the Young Priestess Voidwalker combo. That way I got a 2/1 and a 1/4 sitting there with a taunt.
Sure. But that is sometimes something that we'll do depending on our hand. But ideally, Flame Imp is beautiful. Or if you have 2 Young Priestess, and you can drop double Young Priest and have 2 2/2s that
Sure.
are just giving each other their batteries. They're just constantly increasing their health by +1. Is a great move also.
22 shades of sexy. That's what I'm screaming.
That's exactly right. And we're not talking about you, Sexy Stutter.
That's not this time, anyhow.
Not this time. Maybe later. Dire Wolf times 2.
Dire Wolf.
Bottom left.
There we go.
Totally underplayed card for so long, showing up big time lately with the +1 to adjacent minions. You know, when you have that 2 Flame Imps on the table, for example, now you have 2 4/2 Flame Imps.
Sure.
You know, it's adding +1. It's a great card. The thing that people need to think about when they play this is the positioning that they're putting their other creatures next to here.
Right.
What's going to die first? The Young Priestess or the Ardent Squire? They both have 1 health.
Right.
Who are they going to attack, Twiz?
The Young Priestess is going to die because
exactly.
That's what they want to, you know, to kill the buffing that's going on.
They want to kill the buffing, right? So if you place a creature next to the Ardent Squire, are you going to get the +1 attack bonus if it's on the other side of the Ardent Squire instead of the side of the Young Priestess when the Young Priestess dies?
No, because it's all about positioning and making sure that alpha is right in the middle of those two. That way, it buffs both on both sides.
Exactly. So it's really important that you think about the positioning when playing this card.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Again, just to reiterate what you said, it's all about buffing up minions as quickly as possible at 2 costs. That's exceptionally cheap, and it's also another minion that they have to worry about taking off the board.
Exactly. Exactly. So moving to the next card will be the Knife Juggler.
Okay.
2 of these guys.
Okay.
All right, good. I'm glad you had a goal one. Well, like I said, I don't want to lose Alchemist on this. So basically, Knife Juggler, he can be very temporal, and there's times where you're going to be cursing at the Knife Juggler because you really want that knife to hit that one character that's a 4/1, but the knife doesn't hit the 4/1; it hits your opponent's face.
Right.
Because it's whenever you summon a creature, the Knife Juggler is going to do 1 damage to a random enemy. Random meaning your opponent.
Right.
The 4/4 on the table or the 4/1. So DKMR does recommend that you treat your Knife Juggler well. Don't curse at your Knife Juggler. You know, take him out for a bite to eat. You know, when you're not playing the game.
Right.
Just to, you know, encourage him to want to throw the knife in the right spot.
You know what? Another thing to be very wary of is if you have lethal or whatever, you're getting ready for the wombo combo, and your opponent has a Knife Juggler out there, and you throw Leroy down.
That could be a major boo-boo.
That is a major boo-boo, because Leroy is a 6/2. And guess what happens? You summon 2 whelps on his side of the planet, and the Knife Juggler shoots Leroy 2 times, and now you just blew 4 mana, and you got nothing to show for it, and you gave him 2
Can I get a
minions.
wow?
Wow, that's right. Actually, this is... That's
Don't do that. Don't throw Leroy down if they have a Knife Juggler.
No.
And get angry if their Knife Juggler kills your Leroy.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Yep. So
next up is 1 Arcane Golem.
Okay. 3 cost. There he is.
All right. Now this guy is a 4/2 with charge. So he's coming out, and he's going to get down and dirty right away. The issue is that he gives your opponent 1 mana crystal. So it's important to think about when you're throwing this card down. Because if you're throwing this card down on turn 9 and his turn 10 is coming up, who cares? He was going to have 10 mana crystals anyways. If you're throwing it down on turn 6 and you have lethal or 7, it doesn't matter. If you almost have lethal or you have to take care of a taunt, you just have to think about the ramifications of your actions. You shouldn't hold on to this card just to hold on to it, but you have to think about what am I doing by giving him that extra mana crystal.
Sure.
All the calculations you're doing, Twiz, for the damage you're doing this turn can completely backfire in the next turn. So, you know, you do have to think about it, and there's definitely going to be a time and a place for when to use this when you're not going for lethal, but, you know, don't let it just sit in your hand either.
Okay.
Okay?
Good game.
Next up are the Harvest Golems. We need 2 of those.
Okay.
All right, now these guys are
staple.
Maybe arguably the best neutral cards, maybe even the best card, because it can be played in all decks in the game.
Yeah.
It's 3 mana for 2/3. When it dies, it's a 2/1. Mm-hmm. Now, if you remember earlier, I told you about Power Overwhelming, right?
Yep.
Power Overwhelming, what it says on that card is that it gives a friendly minion +4/+4, right?
Yep.
And then it dies a horrible death.
Yep.
What do you think happens when the Harvest Golem dies a horrible death?
He spawns that second 2/1 damaged golem.
It's true. And in some cases, that might be the right play to make, where you put down +4/+4, giving him 6 damage, knowing that you're going to still get a 2/1 on the table when you're done.
Sure.
So something to think about. It's almost like Redemption and Paladin, where you get your creature back. So you're not getting him back as a 2/3, but you're still maintaining potentially board control.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Also, a pain to take care of as a 2/3.
It's a true statement.
The next card is controversial. It's controversial because there's some changes coming up in the new patches, which is gonna make this card probably obsolete in this deck. But for today, we're gonna use it. It's Tinkmaster.
Coming at you, 1 Tinkmaster Overspark. Now, yeah, let's talk about some of the news.
Yes, they were talking in the channel about him, so let's talk about him here.
Okay, so for those of you who are not aware, some changes came out with Hearthstone today. They talked about, pretty much the release of the game is on the horizon, and before they do that, they're going to be changing 2 of the cards, namely Netpagel and Tinkmaster Overspark. Now, right now, Tinkmaster Overspark, you can transform a minion into a 5/5 Devilsaur or a 1/1 Squirrel at random. Now, it's completely 50-50 chance. You have no idea what you're going to get. Although, if you're me, you get the 5/5 Devilsaur every damn time. But that's just me. What it's changing now to is it's still remaining a 3 cost. Am I right?
Yeah, it's going to be a 2/2. It's going to be a 3/3 instead of 2/2.
Right. So it's going to be a 3/3 for 3. And it transforms a random minion on the other side of the board, I believe.
It is. It's going to be a random
enemy
5/5 or a random 1/1.
Right. Yeah. So you could either get the 1/1 freaking Argent Squire while the 8/8 Molten Giant's still sitting there, or I don't know. And so there's a lot of not uproar about it because you can only get in so much of an uproar over cards, but there's people are not happy about the randomness. Now, the value that I see in it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Poach, but let's say you get, how many times have you ran into, you have an empty board and dude throws down Ragnaros, and that's all you got. That's all he's got, and you're going to take 8 damage to the face. There's no getting around it. That is where I see Tinkmaster becoming useful again, is because he's either going to be a 5/5 or a 1/1, but yeah,
and they're mentioning something in the channel that you had said, but it's a random minion, so either side of the board. So like your point though, right now, if they have a Ragnaros and your board is clear, then it could be it will turn that into a 5/5 or a 1/1, which still makes him useful. But if you have a 5/5 on your side of the board and he has an 8/8, it could turn your 5/5 into a 1/1.
No, how awesome is that?
Not
GG, Blizz.
Blizzard, we're not happy with this. I don't think this card was a great card, but I don't know if we had to do this to this card.
Right.
I think we could have increased his mana, maybe to 4 or 5. I don't know if we had to go this far.
Yeah, because there was it was enough gamble already with the
it was already an
5/5.
RNG card. They made the card double the RNG.
Yeah,
and unlike doubling gum, it's not better.
Yeah, but what was funny was in the post they were like, it's all about, there's so many creative minions that are being taken out of the game by him or whatever and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's exactly what he's designed for, is to take away the pain in the butt cards. That's the whole point.
I agree with you. He's a cool card. I think he was a staple in a lot of decks. A lot of us also felt that way. But now he is a staple in my dust pile. I probably will be DEing him. I don't know if there's any reason to keep this card. Maybe if the meta changes into some weird meta where you don't play minions on the board, then yes, he will be the best card out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just end turn back and forth, and then,
And then when somebody finally plays that 20/20 creature, you go, ha! Tink.
Tink. 5/5.
5/5. That's okay. That's better.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, by all rights and purposes, for tonight, we're going to be using him. So
we are going to use him still. This is a tribute to Tink.
Yep, a tribute to Tink. I'm gonna hang on here. Tribute to Tink. All right.
There we go.
Okay, so
Next
moving right
up
along.
is a 1 order of Dark Iron Dwarf.
Coming at you.
All right, now he's a 4/4, and he gives +2 attack on his opening turn. So, again, it's about boosting the card. It's still a 4/4 for 4. So, worst case scenario, if you don't have a card to drop it on, you can still throw him down, put the +2 on your enemy's card, and it doesn't matter because when it's its turn again, it goes away. Also, he being the 4/4, he's pretty beefy, and a lot of these cards in this deck are not that beefy.
Sure.
So it does. It's a nice it's something nice to add to the table because he usually doesn't get removed right away.
Yep. Because I mean, you're looking at the Abusive Sergeant with 1 health, Argent Squire at 1 health, 2 health for the Flame Imp, 2 health for the Direwolf, 1 for the Priestess. It's nice to see a 4/4. It's something with a little bit of oomph to it. So, oopsie, I think I scooted ahead too far.
All right, here we go.
Yes, sir.
Next up, 2 Defenders of Argus.
Coming at you.
All right, these guys are still strong. They got nerfed a while ago. They're 2/3s, and they give the +1/+1 and the taunt. There's definitely some times, cough against Hunter, where you're going to want to have those taunts up, just to allow yourself to live another day, or maybe do that damage that's needed to get through a taunt, or maybe lethal. So, still a great card. Definitely used. Definitely important.
Yep.
So next up is going to be 1 order of Leroy Jenkins.
Coming at you. Ding, ding, ding. Goes calling.
Leroy is a great card. Some people argue he's too strong. I don't think so. I think he's great, but manageable, and you just have to manage around him. Yeah. He's a 6/2. Nobody likes getting Leroyed and losing because of it. I understand that, but I don't mind. Sure. If he set himself up and he only needs 4 mana to do this, then good for him. Yeah. So the 1/1 whelps will kill off your Leroy. So most of the time, this is for lethal. Occasionally, it's to kill a taunt.
Sure.
But really, pair him up with any of these buff cards. I like as a nice combo is at the end is turn 7 to run the Arcane Golem and Leroy Jenkins for 10 damage, which sometimes is a finisher.
Yeah. And if you don't have a Leroy, you are 1 Arcane Golem and 1 Abusive Sergeant away from having one, and then you don't have the whelps to deal with. So,
well, the problem is with that is that you are removing something. So I guess the only thing I'd be okay with you replacing Leroy with, which is not a phenomenal card, is probably your 5 mana 5/2 with charge. Or it might be 6
yeah, I
mana.
know what you're talking about.
She is flying. That's for sure. She might be 6 mana actually. Let's see. Yeah. The Reckless Rocketeer. Not ideal, but same-ish idea. You might want to throw in the other Arcane Golem, or you might want to throw her in. The idea is to have some charge, and one of those would be all right.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
So Leroy is 6 damage.
Yep.
All right. So keeping on moving through this deck list. Last but not least are 2 Ardent Commanders.
Argent Commanders.
Argent Commanders.
Those are 6. Boom, boom.
Yep. Now, these guys are great for a couple reasons. They got nerfed a little while ago, but they're still great. They've got the Divine Shield, so if they stay on the board and they were never attacked, they have to go through that shield.
Sure.
That's 4 damage. It's a charge. Usually you're going to get a chance to do at least 8 damage with this card. And great finisher. Again, that's where you can buff this card. You can add the Power Overwhelming. It's really a great card.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we are off to the races. Should we get going to this?
I think we should.
Let's do this. Play. Now, I have not gotten to play very much at all. Just basically enough to get me stopped at 19, so that way I can't lose. And that's where
okay.
my starting
better.
point.
Let's play 19 guys. That'll be hopefully we'll get some more wins. Now, I want to just say I don't know. I'm going to do my best here to do my duty to Twiz in my country to help you get as many wins as possible. But this is live, and there's chat going on. There's a lot of distractions. I just want to excuse myself in case there are any misplays that the audience does see. But
we are human. We are human. It happens.
We are human. I mean, we're robots.
It's true.
Disguised as humans.
All right.
So we're going to be playing Thrall. All right. Now, we like to keep... I like to keep Soulfire in my hand against Shaman. I'm going to say to get rid of the Power Overwhelming, the Ardent Commander, and I'm going to explain why while we wait for the time to run out. The Ardent Squire, phenomenal. Like I told you, first card, dropping it down. The Soulfire, he might throw out the 2/4 Earthbound Elemental that gets boosted with Overload, and we want to get rid of this immediately. So those are the 2 cards we're going to keep, and those are the 2 cards we're going to get rid of.
Okay. Poach Flipmo says, how far would this deck get you in rank?
Well, Flipmo, it took DKMR from rank 25 to Legendary in 9 hours. That was the end of last season.
There you have it. There you go.
All right, so let's see if he plays anything. Usually Shaman will not play a turn 1 unless they have an Ardent Squire. They usually pass the turn.
Yep.
There we go. So here's the cool part. What do you think you should be throwing down on turn 1? And I'll tell you what I think you're going to be doing instead.
I would play the Argent Squire, and then I would coin into the Young Priestess and make it a bubble 1/2.
Who says that you need coaching?
Hey, you know what? All I did was go to the DKMR forums and listen to what you guys had to say. That's all I did. Wow.
Phenomenal. Now, don't use that 0 Soulfire card.
No.
End the turn, but let's talk about what's inside your hand for a second. So you have a Soulfire and the Doomguard, and this is like the worst thing you could possibly have because you want to use a Soulfire, but you don't want to lose a Doomguard.
Sure. And
you want to use the Doomguard, and you're going to lose a Soulfire. So ultimately, if we can get your hand a little bit bigger, it'll allow us to feel a little bit better about using Soulfire. All right, so he drops down the Loot Hoarder. He's going to want to kill your 2/1. So what we're going to do here is we will... you've got a Mortal Coil in your hand, don't you?
Yep, I do.
All right. So you've got 1 mana for Mortal Coil, and you have 1 mana for that lovely 3/2. So in this matchup, in this case, we're going to Mortal Coil the 2/1.
Okay.
Get that guy off the board. He'll get the card draw, but that's okay. We got the card draw too. So we have an interesting situation now. Now that we got the Voidwalker, we don't want him to kill your
Priestess
1/2 and your 2/1. But remember, he has Lightning Storm potentially in his hand. So if we throw down your 3/2 Imp, he might just Lightning Storm and kill that bad boy, and you've taken 3 damage to do that. So the correct move against this matchup, in my opinion, is going to be to throw down the Voidwalker.
Okay.
He'll either turn into a 1/4 and live through it, or your Ardent Spiral will be that much stronger. Now you're going to attack, to the face with both those cards, and then you're just going to end turn.
Good game.
So your Voidwalker will not live through a Lightning Storm potentially. Your other friend over there is going to still be fine, even if the Lightning Storm does come out this turn.
Sure.
The Lightning Storm will cause him to overload, which will be bad for him, and give us more. Okay, so he Swamp Oozes and is unsuccessfully killing your weapon.
Right.
Now, in this turn, what I'm going to recommend is that you tap right now. Okay? You have enough mana to tap for. Let's see what comes out. Arcane Golem, that's more of a finisher. Okay if you end up losing him. Sure. Not the end of the world. He has to move his 3/2 through your 1/3 to get to your 2/1.
Right.
This is what he wants to kill. So, again, it's risky if we throw out the Flame Imp, but we can't live in fear. Okay?
Okay.
We cannot live in fear. So we're going to throw out the Flame Imp.
Okay. And
we're going to attack to the face here. There's no need to kill the 3/2 right this second.
Okay.
And, some people might argue to run the 1/3 and the other 1/3 into that ooze, but I'm more concerned about potential Lightning Storm.
Sure.
And that would just be a complete board clear. Lightning Storm right now will do 2 to 3 damage, and if we get lucky, if he throws it out, it will only kill your 2/1.
Okay.
All right, so he's going to take that guy out. We still have 1 more turn here, and now we just got a Mortal Coil.
Yep.
So we're going to Mortal Coil the 3/1.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see what we get.
See what we get out of it.
Now this is where we're going to use the Soulfire. We got to get through that guy, and we can use the Soulfire to kill the 3 to bring that down to a 3/1.
3/1,
and then we can attack with the 1/3 into it, killing it.
Okay.
Hopefully we don't lose our Doom Guard. And we did. All right. Well, that's unfortunately the power of that, but we're not going to get discouraged.
That's right.
We're going to hang on before you attack to the face. One thing that we could have done last turn was life tap first.
Oh, sure.
But not the end of the world. There's, like I said, with the talking and looking at the board and looking at the chat, it's not the end of the world. But here, life tapping is all right. I'm still okay with you life tapping. Let's see what we get.
Okay. Tink.
Yeah. Okay. So attack to the face with the last 2 cards.
Okay.
And then we're just going to end turn.
Okay. Now, guys, this is the same. This is pretty much the coaching that we're talking about. You know, that we talked about earlier during the interview with Poach and everything. So, you know, this is how these guys roll. So, so let me tell you what I think is kind of going on in my head a little bit, depending on what he lays down and everything. Another Swamp Ooze. What I'm thinking of right now is throwing down my Defender of Argus and beefing up the minions that I do have. Now, I could lay down... Here's a question for you. Should I lay down the Defender of Argus between this taunt and her?
See, this is the problem, unfortunately, we have with the position. And maybe we should have talked a little bit about that, where to put the stuff down. Just because we don't need to worry about wolves. And if we did have the wolves, we'd want them next to the other 2 minions, not the 2/1 minion.
Right.
And I'll make sure that we do that next time. But unfortunately... the best move for us to do is probably going to be to boost up the 1/4 and the 2/1, allowing the 1/4 to kill the 3/2 because he'll be 2. So why don't you pop that down on the 1/4? Yep, right there.
Okay.
And now your Ardent Squire can kill his... we can ignore, but we're going to kill his 3/2 because we don't want him to kill your priest.
Okay.
And then we're going to attack to the face. Okay. Yep. And then we're going to end turn.
Cool.
We're in a really bad position for Lightning Storm, which I would expect soon. The 2/4 will live if he doesn't have any magic damage. But next turn, we're probably throwing down the Ardent Commander. He got the magic damage. He probably has Lightning Storm. That is really unfortunately bad RNG. Yeah. But it happens.
That is the way.
Oh, only 3 damage. We got lucky. All right. So, next step here is going to be the Ardent Commander because he's not going to have a way of taking that shield off. And we can attack with the Ardent Commander to the face. And then this is where some people might say, do I attack the 0/2? But if we attack the face, that's 6 damage. And we're setting up with Power Overwhelming and the Arcane Golem. And potentially your 4/2 still being alive to finish him. So... I'm going to say to just go to the face here with both this and ignore that magic damage.
Okay.
Because really, he's not getting any benefits out of the magic damage. Going to this turn, that would be detrimental to you. Lightning Storm would kill, and same with the other.
About the only thing that could really throw Monkey Wrench is a Hex.
A Hex would be fine.
You think so?
Yep. Wouldn't be the end of the world. He only has 2, and he's got 1 left in his hand. Urshock would be a bummer.
Oh, right on.
There's a Lightning Bolt.
Okay.
All right. So we have to get past the O2.
Yep.
Right. We can theoretically tink the O2, which would be kind of funny. But and then we could Arcane Golem, which would be 6, and then we would be able to Power Overwhelm and get lethal. So basically, we're going to use the Arcane Golem to tink the O2. So do that.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Use the Arcane Golem?
I'm sorry. Take Tink and use Tink on the O2.
Okay.
Then we're going to use the Arcane Golem. We're going to drop that. Yep. And then we're going to take the Power Overwhelming, and we're going to put that on either one of those. Power Overwhelming on the 4-2 or the 4-2, either one. And then we're going to attack to the face and win the game. So this is why I did what I said I was going to do. Wow. And either way, I think it was the same outcome. Had the O2 died, we would have had -2 damage, but we had more than enough to get through. And we can go back and forth, whichever made the most sense or would have been better. But the only thought there would have been, of course, the Earth Shock, which would have killed the 4-2. So in the future, that, like I said, a lot going on here. So that probably would have been a safer play. All right, so let's go again.
Roll it again. Roll on 2, everybody. Chat room, how you guys doing? I really appreciate you guys hanging out and watching us. It's a lot of people were saying take out the spell power minion or totem.
Some people wanted us to use the Power Overwhelming on the 2-1.
Yeah. Yep. So next week we're gonna have Sexy Stutter come on here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so I don't know. I think he's in the chat room. He might not be, but anyways, that'll be a good time. Really good dude. I've watched his stream several times, and he knows what's going on. So right there, right off the bat, we got the old Wombo combo.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of Leroy Jenkins. We don't need him.
That's fine.
And we're gonna get the Mortal Kombat. We're going up against Priest.
Yep.
You know what? We are gonna get rid of the Mortal Coil, just because most priests are not going to have a creature that has 1.
Okay.
There's Sexy Stutter right there. So Sexy Stutter will be the official co-host on this show.
Cool. We got a Taunt and a Soulfire.
Taunt and a Soulfire. Love the Soulfire in the opening.
Hey, so what do you prefer? Because, I think we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. We're going to coin into...
Well, here we go. Something interesting. So the Northshire Cleric is by far like a gigantic pain in the arse. Mm-hmm. So we're going to need to protect our friend, the Priest. So we're going to throw out the 1/4, 1/3
Voidwalker.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to throw out the coin.
Yep.
And we're going to put out the Young Priestess. Some people might even say to Soulfire the 1/3. I think that is a little aggressive and
leaves you with 2 cards on turn 1.
Well, it's not a matter of that. It's more of, losing the Ardent Squire isn't the end of the world.
Sure.
Losing Tankmaster isn't horrible either, but what's going to happen is the heal here. So, what we're going to have to do, unfortunately, on this turn, I think Soulfire, might have been better last turn, but this turn we're just going to have to... I like to have more cards in my hand before I Soulfire, but why don't we... just thinking if we want to even life tap, because we know we're going to Soulfire. So, unfortunately, we might draw something else that's more important. So that's one of those cases where,
Sure.
We'll Soulfire... Soulfire first.
Okay. Soulfire first? All right.
Yeah. And like I said, and some people would have... Yeah, and that's all right.
And then
okay,
tap.
So now you can throw... against this guy, I would say using the life tap is fine.
Okay.
And then attacking to the face.
Yeah. We got back what we just lost. So...
We did, and, we took one... it's... I don't know. Like, sometimes I would maybe throw that down, and I guess it depends. You know that he's going to attack you with the 1/3. I was curious what else we were going to get before we went in that aggressive way.
Sure.
But, and now we're in a situation again where he's going to have his way with us. Here, we're gonna life tap again.
Okay.
We might be able to get... unfortunately, we didn't get what I was hoping for. So here we'll throw down the Ardent Squire. And not on the same side as... Nope. We're going to... Yep, right there.
Okay.
And then we're going to attack his face again. I just think that having this guy on the table for a little bit longer is better.
Okay. So go into the face with both of them and ending turn. Okay. Yeah, the only time that Ancient Watcher really becomes a pain is obviously when he gets silenced, but a Defender of Argus really makes him nasty. Now, the one thing I did notice about this is there is really not a whole lot of board clear that's built into this.
No, there isn't, but you really should be clearing with the minions.
Okay.
And now what we need to think about is getting some clear down here. So this might be one of those situations where we're going to power overwhelm early because we need to get past the
taunt.
The taunt, and sure. And we can't get past it at all right now. Even if we use Defender of Argus on our 1-3 and our 1-2, I don't like the idea of tinking the 3-5 right now and hoping for something. I don't know what's going to happen down the road with him. So unfortunately, 4 mana.
So you want me to power overwhelming?
Well, before you power overwhelming, I would life tap knowing that we're going to power overwhelm.
Okay.
Still not what I was hoping for. All right, well, this is my call here, so I'm going to say that we're going to power overwhelm your 1-3, kill the 3-5, attack the 2-1 into his 1-2, and attack the face with your 1-2. So you might want to do that now before. Yeah, okay. So attack your 2-1 into his 1-2, throw down your Flame Imp, and attack your 1-1 into his face. And make sure you get that Flame Imp down. And then end turn.
Whew, just in time. Just in time. Man, I have to say that's not what I would have done, but I'm an idiot. So we have that.
I don't think you're an idiot, and some people are still arguing that they would like to have seen the Tink come down, but I don't want to Tink this early because all right, this is good. So in this situation, getting rid of our friend the 4/4 is going to be necessary. So what we can do is we can play the wolf and kill the 4/4, and then we can play the ardent. And then we can play the golem, or we can taunt up our 1-2, making him a 2-3 with divine shield, and then attack our 4-3 into his 4/4. So I don't think we need taunt right now. Okay. So I'm okay with throwing down the wolf first in between the two of them.
Okay.
Attacking the 4/4 with the 4/2.
Okay.
And then throwing the golem down next to the wolf.
Okay.
And then attacking into his face.
Okay. Buy off on that. Joker's Alex. He's probably getting
What's that?
The Joker's Alex, the guy that we're playing right now, or girl possibly, probably getting all sorts of torqued off.
All right, so Shadow of Pain. That's one of those out of his deck.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
He's gonna silence the 2-3. Okay. All right. So this is usually where we're gonna throw down Defender unless we have a better move. Okay. So what we'll do is we will Defender your 1-2 and your 2-3.
Okay.
And I personally like to attack the face when I have 2 taunts on the table. Okay, personally. If you kill the 3-2 with the 2-3, that's not a bad option. And then attack the other one to the face. That'll give you, allow you to put down your Young Priestess, and just not have to worry too much about the 2-1. And I would potentially leave them on the table unless we want to think about clearing. So I don't know. I like to. I really like to go deeper, but you can throw down the priest on the right hand side. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And then let's run the 2-3 into the 3-2.
Okay.
And we were talking about board clear a second ago, but these priests have some nasty cards. But kill the 2-1 with the 3-4. I guess that's what we'll do here.
Okay.
And we'll end turn.
See, for me, I would have taken I would have taken it to the face because, I mean,
you have 2 taunts on the table. I know, and I like to go to the face too personally. But you made a point also that the problem that we're having is that exactly. I mean, Battle Panda has it down. He keeps filling the board back up, and if we're not careful, he's going to utilize a spell that's going to wipe our whole board, and he's going to have a full board that's fully healed. He has a spell, Holy Nova, that does 2 damage and then heals for 2. So I would like to not see our board be empty.
And his be full and topped off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this deck, like I said in the beginning, this is a tempo aggro deck. So it's not necessarily just straight to the face. And we're hoping to still see Leroy at some point.
Sure. No, absolutely.
We can quickly kill him. There's a Holy Nova that we were just talking about. So he had it in his hand. Imagine if we hadn't attacked.
Yeah.
Then we'd have nothing.
Yeah.
We would have done a little bit more damage to him, but we'd be in this situation here. So we're going to life tap here because we don't really have a move. Oh, look at that. Unfortunately, 1 shy.
Right.
Turn 7 going into turn 8, giving him 1 extra mana. Mind control is something that we have to think about. Potentially coming to a theater near us. And getting him there faster or giving him more outs. We're looking at 2 damage, 4 damage. We know we're going to push him down with 6. I say we put out the golem at this point. It sucks to give him the extra mana crystal, but we know that our next turn is going to be the Ardent Commander. Sure. So let's put this out and attack to his face.
Okay.
And hope he doesn't have another Holy Nova in his hand. Okay.
Holy Nova, that's 6 mana, I believe, isn't it? 5 mana.
All right, and he just used that and Thought Steal. I hate Thought Steal. It's so annoying.
I know. That whole thing. It's like, are you playing my deck or yours?
I know. It's ridiculous. So here's what we're going to do. If he taunts those 2 up, it's going to be a pain in my ass. We're looking at 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Not enough for lethal right now. We can tap to see what we get. There's really I would not Mortal Coil our own 2/1.
Would
just
you
to see what we have, just because the only way I would do that is after we attack. So
okay.
All right, well, you're a little trigger happy. That's okay though.
Oh, I thought you said we were going to tap, so I did it.
It's okay. I was just thinking about maybe attacking with the 2/1 and then Mortal Coiling, but he still has to go through our 2/1. So what we'll do is we're going to put down the Divine Shield Commander on the right-hand side next to your 4/2.
Right there?
Yep. And
now we could 4 and then 2 and then Mortal Coil for the card draw.
We can't. We have no more mana. So
shit. Sorry. Yeah.
We can attack him for 14 damage is what we're going to do.
Go straight for the face?
Yep.
Okay. I really hosed us by life tapping there. Sorry about that.
You didn't hose us. You just made it more interesting.
I added variety, which is the spice of life, people. That's the name of the game.
You might mind control your 4/2, which would be a bummer.
Flipmo says, how does this deck match up against a warrior control deck?
And Alchemist answered saying quite well, and so did Contester. It is quite. He just used wow. Okay, so if he has no taunt,
then that's
game.
Then that's it.
That's game. He has no taunt, so feel free to use your Ardent Commander and just. Okay, he still has to attack, so he's going to not be able to stop you. Even
Yeah.
All right, so now you can just kill him with your. There you go.
Looked good on paper. Yep, looked good.
Good on paper. It worked out fine. We do have to consider the fact that he might have the taunt in his hand, which is something I was thinking about. Why I wanted to keep Tink. I don't like to aggressively Tink super early, especially versus really random decks that we're seeing at the highest point in the ladder, where you start to see cards that you don't normally see. And I didn't want us to run into some weird-ass taunt that we would need to get by, or some card that no one would expect, because at this level of the ladder, we're seeing a lot of really odd cards.
Sure. No,
so it's really hard to play this deck the way maybe one might play this deck at a lower point in the ladder, because I feel like you have to be a little more conservative, personally.
No, absolutely. No.
I mean, two of those oozes were not the right card for a ladder deck.
Right.
So, but yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I think we accomplished what we wanted to do here. I mean, we just did this for, I don't know, I want to say, we've been live now for a little over an hour.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Real quick though, I want to give a shout out to Joker's Alex. Joker's Alex, love you, buddy, but
you lose.
Weird taunt, Nicholas. I mean, like something like, somebody drops down like an 07 taunt or something that you just aren't used to seeing. Go to my collection for a second.
Okay.
And then go to go deep into the neutral cards. Keep going. All right. So, weird taunt, like the Lord of the Arena. Okay, Lord of the Arena would be a weird taunt that you don't normally see.
Yeah.
On the ladder, down the lower part of the ladder in the higher ranks. And when I say higher ranks, I mean like rank 3, 5, 7, 10, even 8. You do see Lord of the Arena at rank 19. So you might be thinking you're fine. All of a sudden, you're going to see some taunt pop down that you're just like, what was this?
Right.
So that's what I mean, Nicholas, when I say weird taunt. So that's why I like to hang on to the tank at this higher level of ladder play.
Sure. No.
You don't want to outplay yourself. And that happens.
Agreed. Well, everybody, I think that is going to bring our very first episode to a close. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to the show, hanging out with us. This show is going to be available on BlizzPro's YouTube channel, as well as I believe we're going to be uploading it to the videocast section of iTunes, so you can download it, take it with you on the go, and watch it at your leisure. So make sure you grab that. Poach, dude, you are the man. Thank you so much for coming on the show and offering the player base some great stuff to help make them better players.
Sure, and everybody has their opinions about how to play the decks, and there's not always a right or wrong answer. So I do appreciate everybody's input during that game, and we are just trying to make players better. So feel free to pop onto our website. I want to thank our partners, BlizzPro. We have Hearthstone players, and we have iHearthU that we're working with. Check out the Meta Report. Meta Report comes out on Wednesdays or Thursdays, depending on iHearthU's schedule. But we do tweet about it, so you can follow us at Don't Kick My Robot. And also check out BlizzPro for the Deck of the Week, which we recently just created a partnership with Hearthstone Arena in Germany, and they're going to be translating that into German. Guten Tag. So any of you Germans out there that want to...
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch, read any of that in German, you can on Hearthstone Arena, and they'll be crediting BlizzPro and Don't Kick My Robot for that material. And also providing links back to BlizzPro, where the original article is hosted. And check out the show that we're going to be doing here, Mondays at 10 o'clock Eastern with Sexy Stutter from Don't Kick My Robot.
Yep.
And head over to the website. Also, we got a lot of great stuff over there. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys. I don't know if you've been checking out the King of the Hill on iHearthU, but we still hold that crown. Alchemist will be playing in the next King of the Hill there. And also, he'll be making an attempt at the King of the Hill on the NESL website, where he'll be playing, I believe it's Trump, and then the winner to go for the crown tomorrow.
Awesome. And I'm sure we'll be talking all about that here on the show. So
definitely.
Very cool. All right, guys. Again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to follow myself on Twitter at TwizBP for BlizzPro. You can follow at Don't Kick My Robot at BlizzPro. So you also, you'll know when we're going live. Also, hit the follow button on Twitch. That way, you'll get an email when we go live, and you won't miss out on this. So, I guess on behalf of myself and BlizzPro and Don't Kick My Robot, we would like to remind you that it doesn't matter where you're at or who you play with. Just have fun.
Have fun.
That's right.
It's true. Good game, guys.
Good night.
Good night.